What up, YouTube? Timu's here with Ford v Ferrari opening this week. Since besides it starring Christian Bale, it also stars Matt Damon, who's of course Jimmy, the worst person that Jimmy Kimmel knows. I mean, if you guys know the feud, yeah. But anyway, since it does star Matt Damon, I decided to go ahead and do my top 10 favorite Matt Damon movies. I mean, he's a kid from Boston. He's been in some great, really high profile stuff. He's also been in some not so good stuff either. I mean, someone thought it was a good idea to cast Matt Damon to save China, you know. But yeah, Matt Damon's been some really great stuff over the years. So with that being said, here is my top 10 favorite Matt Damon movies. All right, coming in at number 10, it is The Rainmaker, based on a book by John Grisham, starring Matt Damon as a struggling new attorney named Rudy Baylor, who resorts to working for a shady lawyer played by Mickey Rourke, and where he ends up meeting this paralegal guy named Deck Shiflett, played by Danny DeVito. But when this insurance company of Dot Black, played by Mary Kate Place, refuses her dying son coverage, both Baylor and Shiflett ends up teaming up to fight the corrupt corporation, taking down its lawyer, played by John Voight. And Baylor also ends up becoming involved with this woman named Kelly Ricker, played by Claire Danes, who's also who's like this abused wife whose husband complicates matters as he also ends up confronting Baylor and her. The Rainmaker is a really great legal film. I mean, Matt Damon and Mickey Rourke, that's kind of a weird combo if you think of it. Like, on paper, Matt Damon and Mickey Rourke, that's a weird combo. But those two really played off each other well. And it was directed by Francis Ford Coppola, who of course gave us stuff like Godfather and Apocalypse Now. He has a lot to say about comic book films, but that's another topic for another day. Yeah, The Rainmaker is a really great, like, interesting courtroom film. You know, I am usually a sucker for these legal flicks. And yeah, Rainmaker's a really good one. I mean, Danny DeVito was great, Claire Danes. Now, this was also really the movie that actually put Matt Damon on the map for most people, and since then he's been like some other great stuff. So if you guys haven't really seen The Rainmaker, give it a go. It's a really good one. All right. Coming in at number 9, it's a comedy and it's a film directed by the Farrelly brothers, and that is Stuck on You. Now, this is really a comedy where Matt Damon and Greg Kinnear literally plays conjoined twins. You also had Cher, who actually portrays herself in this. You had Ava Mendes is in this. Stuck on You is really hilarious. I mean, you could really actually buy Matt Damon and Greg Kinnear as twins. Like, those two were really great. Like, it's a very messed up version of Dumb and Dumber, but if they were actually brothers instead of I mean, it's from the same guys who gave us Dumb and Dumber, so yeah. I mean, Stuck on You is really hilarious. Cher, it's pretty cool seeing Cher playing like herself in this. Ava Mendes is great. I mean, yeah, Stuck on You is a really hilarious film. If you guys haven't really seen Stuck on You yet, give it a go. It got released in 2003, and it's a really funny comedy. Alright, coming in at number 8. Coming in at number 8, it is the Ocean Trilogy. Now, this movie had like I guess you say the frat pack. Like, you had George Clooney, Brad Pitt, and Matt Damon. You also had people like Bernie Mac. It's directed by Steven Soderbergh, who of course worked with Damon loads of times. And you had George Clooney as ex-con Danny Ocean, who's trying to like steal who's really trying to like steal stuff like steal millions from a like a casino in Vegas. And you also got like Matt Damon actually played the pickpocket Linus Codwell. Brad Pitt was great in this. A few other people. Couple of the sequels you had Casey Affleck appearing, Don Cheadle. You also had Al Pacino appearing in the third one. Steven Soderbergh. I mean, it's a really awesome heist movie. I mean, Damon ended up appearing in the first three. He was supposed to appear in the female version with Sandra Bullock, but I still don't know what happened with that one. But that being said, the Ocean trilogy is a really cool heist flick. All right, coming in at number 7, it is The Martian, directed by Ridley Scott. I mean, this, according to the Golden Globe, is one of the funniest comedies of the year it got released. Yeah, literally. I mean, the movie has funny parts in it, yes, but the Golden Globe literally actually ended up giving this film a this movie literally won Best Comedy and Musical at the Golden Globes. Yeah, I still always found that to be odd, but anyway, here you got Matt Damon who ends up playing Mark Wahlberg, who ends up who ends up going in outer space, and he's been end up being lost in space, and so like you got a lot of people on Earth who's trying to get him back. I mean, Matt Damon has a habit of getting himself stuck in lots of places, whether it's a space, whether it's a war and all. Yeah, Matt Damon always has a habit of playing these roles. But that side, The Martian is great. It's anyway. The Martian is a great sci-fi film. It does have comedy in it, but it's still not technically a comedy. I mean, come on. Also Matt Damon, it's really Matt Damon in outer space, and stuff that Matt Damon went through in outer space was pretty cool. I mean, like a year before he did this, he also did Interstellar, which was pretty good, but he was barely in Interstellar. But yeah, The Martian is such a great one. I mean, you've got people like Chiwetel Ejiofor, Kristen Wiig, some really great cast members. I mean, if you guys ever really seen The Martian by now, give it a go. It is also based on a book. Really, really amazing sci-fi flick. Alright, coming in at number 6, it is Rounders. It is directed by John Dahl and stars Matt Damon as this talented card player who's desperate to leave that life behind for a career in law. And he ends up being put back in by his ex-con buddy played by Ed Norton, and pretty soon they end up needing to enter high-stakes game so they could pay off this Nazi loan shark. And you got John Malkovich as the Russian mobster. You got John Turturro's in this. You also got Gretchen Ball was in this. Rounders is, I'm not really much of a poker guy, but Rounders is probably the best poker movie there is. And maybe next to Malik's game, but yeah, Rounders is such a terrific one. I mean, the performances by Matt Damon and Ed Norton is great. John Malkovich is terrific. Now, they were supposed to do a sequel to this, but I don't know whatever happened to that one. But anyway, yeah, if you guys haven't really seen Rounders by now, it's a really great film. Alright, coming in at number 5, it is the Oscar-winning film, The Departed. Directed by Scorsese, starring Leo DiCaprio, Damon. You got you also got mob boss Frank Costello, played by Jack Nicholson. I mean, this is a really great film. I mean, it really ended up returning Matt Damon to his Boston roots, because if you guys remember, he is from Boston. And there's actually a couple of Boston actors, like Matt Damon and Mark Wahlberg are two major, actors from Boston, and they were both great in this. It's a really great mafia film. It has some dirty cops in it. Yeah, The Departed is also a remake of Infernal Affairs, which is the Korean cop movie, which is okay, but The Departed is a much better film. I mean, yeah, The Departed is great. If you guys haven't really seen The Departed, you're missing out. It's a really great film. All right, coming in at number 4, it is The Talented Mr. Ripley. It is based on a book by Patricia Highsmith. It's directed by Anthony Minghella, and it stars Damon as this lonely grifter named Tom Ripley, who's like pretty much fingling his way into the inner circle of this rich playboy named Dickie Greenleaf, played by Jude Law, and he's also living in Italy with his girlfriend Marge, played by Graham Pacho, and things get crazy throughout, and things take a dramatic turn throughout the rest. I mean, Talented Mr. Ripley is such a crazy, messed up film. Matt Damon, Jude Law, Grant Paltrow are all great in this. You also have Phil Seymour Hoffman. I mean, some really great cast members. Great, like I said, great performances. If you guys never really seen The Talented Mr. Ripley, it's a really good one. Lots of people actually have this as their favorite Damon film, but my number one, I kind of like it more. So, all right, coming in at number 3, it is the Bourne trilogy. Now Matt Damon's been doing movies like before the Bourne trilogies, but most people, this is actually Jason Bourne is really the character that most people know Matt Damon for. I mean, he played the role in Bourne Identity, the Bourne Supremacy, the Bourne Ultimatum, and even Jason Bourne, which I think is the worst out of the Bourne trilogies. I mean, Jason Bourne was an okay film, but it's not. It was a little disappointing to be out there. And there's talks about Matt Damon possibly playing the role again because if you guys don't know, on USA there's actually a Jason Bourne TV show called. Anyway, there's like a Bourne TV show on USA called I think it's called Treadstone or something like that. I haven't seen it, but I should check that show out. Matter of fact, I've actually been wanting to check it out, but never really got a chance to. But anyway, yeah, the Bourne trilogies are some really fun film. I mean, Matt Damon really pulls some great action stuff. There's some cool fight scenes, cool storylines in these. Yeah, I mean, I probably prefer the Bourne Identity, directed by Doug Liman, but the other Bourne movies, they're pretty decent too. Actually, the only Bourne movie that Damon didn't appear in was the Jeremy Renner one. But other than that, he's been in loads of the other Bourne films. So if you guys haven't really seen them, I say give them a shot. Alright. Coming in at number 2, it is Saving Private Ryan. Now, this is another movie where people had to try to retrieve Matt Damon. Yeah, like I said, Matt Damon has a habit of being in a situation where someone has to try to get him back. Whether it's them trying to get Matt Damon back from outer space or Save Private Ryan. I mean, yeah. Here you also got, it's probably one of the best World War II movies there is. Directed by the great Steven Spielberg. You've got Tom Hanks, Vin Diesel, Ed Burns is in this, Giovanni Ribisi. Save Private Ryan it's great. I mean, it showed one of the Oscar. Yeah. And Damon, he doesn't really, he is, of course, the driving force, but he doesn't really have as much screen time as you expect. It should be in this. It is more a Tom Hanks movie than Damon's film, but the scenes that, Matt Damon has in this is really amazing. Whether, there are some really intense moments he has in this. I mean, yeah, Saving Private Ryan it's the best World War II movie there is. I already did my best World War II movies last year, last Veterans Day, and Saving Private Ryan was of course in that list. It's a great one. If you guys ever seen it, go give it a go. All right, now my favorite Matt Damon movie of all time obviously goes to the one that actually won him an Oscar, but not for acting though, for only writing, and that is Good Will Hunting. Directed by Gus Van Sant, starring Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Robin Williams, Minnie Driver. Good Will Hunting is really great. I mean, you of course got a great chemistry between the South Boston janitor, Damon, who's of course working at MIT, who's also a secretly math genius, and he has a great relationship with his psychologist, played by Robert Williams. And you got Ben Affleck, who plays like his best friend. Now Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, those two are pretty much best buds. Like they're obviously from they're also from Boston, so and they actually knew each other I believe they knew each other since college, if I'm not mistaken. So they've been buds for a long time, and they also did like a few other stuff together as well. Like they appeared in Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob together. But and they also won their Oscar for this. Like they didn't really win for acting, but they won for best screenplay. Robert Williams actually ended up winning for best supporting actor. Well deserved win. Good Will Hunting it's a great movie. It's very inspirational. Some great like one of the best scripts there is. If you guys ever seen it, go check out Good Will Hunting. It's a great film. All right, that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. All right, 10, The Rainmaker. 9, Stuck on You. 8, The Ocean Trilogy. 7, The Martian. 6, Rounders. 5, The Departed. 4, The Talented Mr. Ripley. Um, they're close. Huh? They're close, and it's next up. The kitchen's slow. Alright, sorry about that. Anyway, what was that again? Oh yeah. Number 4, Talented Mr. Ripley. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, 4, Talented Mr. Ripley. 3, The Bourne Trilogy. Let me start that over again. They kind of got lost track. Anyways, sorry about that. 10, Rainmaker. 9, Stuck on You. 8, Ocean Trilogy. 7, The Martian. 6, Rounders. 5, The Departed. 4, Talented Mr. Ripley. 3, The Bourne Trilogy. 2, Saving Private Ryan. And 1, Good Will Hunting. Now, Matt Damon's been in loads of other great stuff over the years, and lots of these movies would probably be in Jimmy Kimmel's worst movies ever. I don't know why. I always get a kick out of their feud. Anyway, his other credits includes Downsizing, Interstellar. He was in Elysium. He was also in that movie, The Great War, which is probably his worst movie. I mean, they thought it was a good idea to have a white guy saving China. Yeah. Downsizing was also horrible. Judgment Spirit, that was pretty good. Like, very underrated film. He was in Green Zone, also directed by Paul Greengrass. Invictus with Morgan Freeman. We Bought a Zoo. Aero Trip. True Grit. The Informant. Dogma. School Ties. Contagion. Behind the Candelabra. The Good Shepherd. Courage Under Fire. Suburbicon. Syriana. He was also in Monuments Man, which was also directed by George Clooney, by the way. He was in Clint Eastwood's Hereafter. Promised Land, which was also directed by Gus Van Sant. Mystic Pizza. He was like a writer on Manchester by the Sea. He appeared in Chasing Amy, which also had Affleck in it. Not to mention, he also had like interesting cameo. Like I really quite like some of his recent cameos. He had a cameo in Thor Ragnarok. He also just had a cameo in the recent Jay and Silent Bob film, and he also had a cameo in that Steven Spielberg horror film Unsane. He had some interesting cameos in recent years. But let me leave it to you guys. What are some of your favorite Matt Damon movies? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is Team Movie signing off.